Thank you once again for inviting me. I came a few years ago. That's the time when Dr. Ghosh invited me, and it was on the topic of leadership. I don't know where I came from, whether I was still in service or I left the service. Do you remember Dr. Ghosh?
You left the service.
I left the service. I soon after left the service. But it was very memorable because what Dr. Ghosh did then was he made me famous. How he recorded the entire leadership lecture and put it on YouTube. I think that was ahead of its time, which was 5 years ago. And thereafter, leadership became such a pet subject for me everywhere. So Dr. Ghosh, thank you very much for doing that for me. And also the IIT Bombay, the faculty and all who were responsible for bringing me back today. It's always a privilege to come to IITs. By the way, you do not know, I am also an IITian. I did my PhD from IIT Delhi. So I am one of you. So therefore, one gets invited. I've been a student of liberal arts. I did my master's in political science from Punjab University, Chandigarh. But then my studies I was always a hungry student. My studies were never ever closed. It was never. The Indian Police Service in 1972 did not stop me from continuing my education. So I did a law degree from Delhi University while in service, while on a communal ride those days, and yet I could make it to the papers with a wireless set on my table. And then I did my PhD because I was very keen to continue my studies in one day, but also was that teaching was very close to my heart. I started my career actually as a lecturer in political science in the Khalsa College for Women, Amritsar, which is my hometown. But then the Indian Police Service came soon after, but studies went on. So therefore, I'm happy to be one of you, and therefore return to one of my own institutions, which I'm very, very proud of. I'm not going to talk about policing today. So it's a bit of a surprise. I know you gave me this subject. It was the easiest subject for me. But I thought I wouldn't go the easy way. I'm going to share with you what I think today, what I feel today, and what I've been experiencing for the whole last 1 year. You know, ever since I moved out of the service, particularly my last 3 years, have gone into absolutely non-electorally linked political movement. It's a public movement, a public service movement. And that, particularly last 5 years, have made me an avid reader of what is going on in this country. It made me, and therefore, once it took me beyond my police and prison reforms and brought me into the public field arena. And more so even for the last 3 years when I became a part of a group of anti-corruption movement. So therefore, policing is only one aspect of it now. Why is policing bad? Why is policing not right? I'm looking at the root causes of that issue and bring you a little on that, and maybe if you're keen on policing more, we will take it up in the Q&A. So you're most welcome on the Q&A. But today I have something which I have, which excites me, angers me, engages me, and I want to share with you because it concerns you. I brought in something which concerns you, because I've now looked at something which is your future too. So when I started to work on your subject, on you, I imagined you people in the audience. And if I was an IITian student sitting there, what is it that I can give you enough so that it makes a difference in your thinking and that it makes a difference in your lives? Because to my mind, each one of you is very precious to this country. And why are you so precious? It evolved in the presentation, but we'll also clarify further in the Q&A if I fall short in explaining my slide. So here is my slides which I want to show you. So if you see, it's called We Indians. tweeted, I didn't. 11 o'clock press conference of the Prime Minister. I didn't miss a word of it. And I think I must have sent 20 tweets on that. As I listened to him, I tweeted about him. And then the ANI also came and took a live interview. I've been very angry. Therefore, whatever I'm going to say is out of also angst. Because I heard my leader. And one of my last tweets was, here is a leader who gave himself a 3rd division and also gave us a 3rd division, who were toppers of our university times, of our times. So in a way, when you get a leadership which is happy with average, you know, all of us have our satisfaction levels. Some are happy with the average, and some are not even happy with doing the best because you want to do better. Therefore, I would think that's what I tweeted, and the PTI also picked up, that I call him as a bureaucrat who was risk averse, and who was risk averse, did no examination, but survived for 9 years. Look at this. What is India's brand? It's important for you to know what is India's brand. That's why I've said we the Indians. India is a land of contradictions. That's our brand. India is a land of opportunities, also our brand. It's a land of hardships, it's a fact. It's also divine chaos, it's also a fact. But India does not score well on the brand because we are either known for Bollywood, cricket, Gandhi, Taj Mahal, etc. But not as a defining, but there's no one defining attribute. If I would ask each one of you, what does India stand for? Somebody would say Bollywood. Somebody might even say IIT. Yeah, why not? But they're not many. They're not many. But we're looking at something which covers more. So therefore, IIT is a brand, and that's why IIT migrates. But it migrates. It doesn't hit you here? Yes. So that migrate, and that IIT migration is certainly picked up by particularly United States of America, because they know they're getting the best. So friends, this is what art, and look at how it is incredible, it is festive. It is incredible, it is festive, it is corrupt, it is colorful, but with which adjective do you use? So what would you use? So incredible, festive, yes. What are you doing right now? Corrupt, yes. Terribly corrupt, very colorful, very, very colorful. Because if you have to travel around Rajasthan, Gujarat, etc., you can't see better colors. It's so striking colors. A desert, but will have all the yellows and the oranges. It's so colorful. Or you go to Northeast, it's so colorful when they knit the shawls, etc. But that's what India's brand is about. But let's go a little beyond. Beyond the debate, government accepts that 65% of Indians are 65% of Indians are poor. What I'm telling you is that you've got to know where you're going to stand in the coming days. That's reality. And this is all coming from my own built-up documentation library, which I personally maintain. So when I looked at your program, I dug into my library and dug out all that I thought must be driven home today. Look, India still doesn't have a latrine policy. It's all an open sky policy. More than half, every second Indian goes under the sky and shows the butt to the world. 50% of Bharat walks 5 kilometers a day for water. And there are long queues. This is a fact of the matter. You are all going to be architects of tomorrow. All these are going to be your fields. Whether you work from here or you work from overseas, doesn't matter. But this is you, and this is your India. So therefore, I want you to register these things. I know they are, but I want to establish this to you, which the world over is what? When you make a presentation, they can make a very good presentation of incredible India. They will bring you a presentation of real India. And the real India is this. Skills shortage, delays, infrastructure. You are not going to have You need thousands of skilled workmen. And once you're into project management, remember when you make a project making, where is the skilled manpower going to come from? You make a project, but you do not know where the skills are going to come from. But so when you do project management, remember, also identify where are you going to get this hand, the skilled hands, because these are all missing right now. You are going to come probably at the middle level management. Where are you going to get the bottom level, which is going to deliver what you are for, what you're getting trained for? So, which means you may have to work at the grassroots level yourself at a stage. So be ready for that grassroots work. Foreign direct investment, this is research after research. I've got the research documentation. What I'm going to do is, this is a presentation, will be put on your website, you can download it. There's enough evidence to establish how many years and months and how many rounds of talks or visits we need to government departments to get any clearance. This is the reality of today. I haven't drawn it. It's Surinder drew it. Let us see who she blesses to be the Prime Minister of India now. Prime Ministerial candidate, sorry. So India is still the world's BPO hub, but it's also gone beyond. India has beaten the BPO from, now it's gone to very good financial analysis, data analysis, legal analysis. So that way India has scored much higher. India has beaten Philippines and other countries which were trying to pitch into our BPO. I think we've beaten them on our intellectual analysis, so which is very good. But it's still the BPO, but BPO has added many more variables and many more characteristics to it. Therefore, India, thanks to all of you, that's the brain which is behind it. This has been what has happened with the economy, and I'm sure you were all very concerned. Where was the rupee going till Raghuraman came in and stabilized it a bit? But now we stopped looking at it because it's almost like everyday rupee here and there going on concerning the rupee matching to the dollar. And look what happened to our current account deficit. I think they were still batching, but they didn't even know it was all khali here. So you need to know these realities when you are going to go into your field work. So it's a story of destructive governance and citizens who did not speak up. Why did they not speak up? Why do you not speak up? I've been to many institutions and I asked them, how many of you raise your hands? Raise your hands. How many of you read regularly editorials of newspapers? How many of you read? There are not many hands when there should be 70% hands. How many of you, thank you. How many of you read certainly Economic Times or the Financial Times or the other economic papers? How many of you read that every day? I can count the heads. I can count them. If a person like me reads regularly Economic Times, I think you need to read it 100 times over. If a person like me who's an outsider can't do without reading the Economic Times, how can you do without it? How would you know? Because you are going to be in the world of economics. A. Secondly, the regular papers or the editorials, when I asked you to raise your hands, it's still a minority. How would you stay engaged? How would you stay engaged? One, how would you raise your voice? How would you form an opinion? How would you genuinely go and vote? And how would you make conscious choices? How would you truly play a role as a voter when you don't do this? So take one takeaway which must begin from here is you've got to read business papers, whichever you choose. I'm not here to promote Economic Times. I'm saying read business papers, whichever you wish. Pick up a newspaper, a business paper, and certainly a national daily, and go to the website and look at editorials. These are very, and whichever you like, retain it, store it, keep it. You will need it, not just for your interview, not just for your placements, but for your post-placements, for continue to have a successful, thinking, intellectually rewarding career. So we have been silent. We were silent till 2010. October 2010, we all did not speak out. It's in October 2010 we start to speak out. That's the beginning of our India Against Corruption movement. How did it begin? Briefly, I'll tell you how it began. October, around the third week of October, when Lokpal bill was being drafted, government was, no, Lokpal had not come at that time. October, our agenda was not Lokpal. In October 22nd, our agenda was Commonwealth Games corruption. Huge corruption. And what did the Prime Minister do? He appointed a Shunglu committee. Whereas when crores have been lost, FIR is supposed to be registered. CBI should have been brought in to register newspapers at daily recording. What did the government do? Appointed a Shunglu committee. A Shunglu committee to inquire. And Shunglu says, I don't have the powers to call for any document, nobody's cooperating with me. All this was happening in the newspapers. And then, nothing was happening. The two of us got together, Kejriwal and myself, we both decided to hold a press conference and say that government is supposed to register an FIR when it's only appointing an inquiry over an inquiry. And when we were in that press conference, two more joined us. Madhu Trehan joined us and Baba Ramdev joined us on a phone to say, "Main bhi aapke saath." Arvind told me, Baba se bhi kuch kehwa dijiye, because Baba had a very big following then. So we were looking at who has the following. So Baba ने कहा फोन से, मैंने भी ऐसे रख दिया, ये बाबा रामदेव बोल रहे हैं, मैं भी इनके साथ. So the three of us sat and we told the press conference, saying, what is this government doing? A crime has been committed of crores of rupees and no FIR has been registered. Then nothing happened. Nothing happened. We were not speaking till then. That's the time when we start to speak from 26th of October 2010, saying this is not acceptable. The press gave us a little bit of coverage. That's much, little bit. That was the beginning of the movement. And then November 14th came. We all again assembled for the same cause, and SMSs were sent to people, "Jisne aana aa jao," and we start to get at Jantar Mantar. More people came through the SMS. That's the first time a proper SMS was used for such a heavy mobilization. Many came. And it worked. Social media started to work. And then after that, 30th of January, on Gandhiji's martyrdom day, came the Lokpal. That's the time when we start to speak up. What did the government do? What was the government doing till then? Was trying to hoodwink everybody. Cover up the Commonwealth Games. 2G had started at that time but hadn't built up. Commonwealth Games had. And then the Lokpal bill, they tried to bring a dud bill, which we called a dud bill. A dud bill means quickly khana puri karo, chalo kanun bana do. Usme CBI mein mere paas, sab kuch mere paas, kanun bana diya. And to tell the world that United Nations Convention Against Corruption has been followed. We looked at the convention, we looked at the government bill, and we said this is cheating us. So we continued to speak. The media still wasn't taking any one of them. I'm giving you the roots, the beginning of whatever change you're seeing today was the beginning was 3rd week of October 2010 when we decided to speak up. Of course, some are speaking out and some are speaking loud enough now and some are speaking in different forums. But look, it started from where? Because we became conscientious of what's going on and what is not acceptable, and that we as educated classes are being taken for a ride. So that's what I'm trying to say. How will you have a voice if you don't keep track of things? That's why in engineering, in business, in administration, in politics, in social issues, very soon you'll be on CSRs as well. As company commanders, as company leaders, you will also be doing corporate social responsibilities. 2% of your net revenues will have to go to corporate social responsibility. You must study the Companies Act today. While you are in IIT, you should read the Companies Act. What is 2% about? How will you get brownies on those 2%? What is your company's role? Unless you track them through the newspapers, you will be losing out on certain things, and then you will be becoming a frog in the pond and not a big ship in an ocean. So this is why I thought I must tell you that the change began, and see how far we've come. I'm going to come to the Lokpal a little later. But speaking out can happen only when you feed in. But if you don't feed in, how will you speak out? You have to feed to speak. Energy comes from feeding in. Knowledge comes from feeding in. Voice comes from feeding in. Courage comes from feeding in. And that is what gives you the thoroughness about it. It's like an examination. You fed knowledge, you will stand up in the class and say, I know what to say, or you do very well in the examination. This is how policing has been. This is a scene of Uttarakhand. This is exactly what happened in Uttarakhand, my friends. I want to ask a question. The question is, many of the IITians today are joining the civil services, aren't they? You are in the Indian Police Service, I've noticed. You are in the revenue services, you're in the administrative services and elsewhere. Why? Because you're brilliant. You're brilliant at cramming. You're very brilliant at learning. You're very brilliant at examination. But when it comes to government services, let me tell you, you're not that brilliant at all. You're not that brilliant. In fact, the people who've done liberal arts are better than you, because their managerial capacity is better than yours. Yours is a very technical approach, whereas the persons who've done liberal arts have a more inclusive managerial approach. Why did Uttarakhand fail? Uttarakhand has bureaucrats from IIMs, from IITs. They're all of these people who've done some of these brilliant courses. That's why they made it. Otherwise, they won't make it. Some of them are even doctors who come from the best of the medical colleges, but they failed us. Let me tell you, politician becomes corrupt after, bureaucrat becomes corrupt before. If you want integrity in this country, you can't only say politician or let me become a political leader और मैं ही साफ करूँगा. तुम करो, लेकिन जो तुम्हें भ्रष्टाचार बढ़ाई जा रहा है, वो सरकारी अफसर कहाँ है? उसको कौन पूछेगा? उसकी जवाबदेही कौन लेगा? और वो कहाँ से पढ़ के आया? ऐसे ही इंस्टीट्यूशन से. So I wanted you to make you aware that when we as educated youth fail, this is what happens. You see, that's what happened. The ITBP became a bridge and the Air Force became a bridge. It is uniform which saved that country. It was the armed forces and the ITBPs and the disaster management all in uniform. This is what happened. And it was failed by both bureaucrats and the politicians. Politicians come after. Bureaucrats like the Chief Secretary, the Health Secretary, the Home Secretary, all of them, the Director General of Police, the disaster management officials, they're all us, we the youth. So therefore, I want you to be aware, whether you join the government or not, like for instance, even when corruption happens in the corporate world, it is we the youth, some of us, who go and bribe. And that is when the chairman, managing director doesn't go every time. It is we, the middle level, which finally goes. So I'm here therefore to bring back the focus back on the responsibility. So is India having a crisis of the soul? Yes, it is. And this is Deepak Chopra's very interesting piece which he wrote. When it says crisis of the soul, let me tell you what his article is saying, Deepak Chopra's article, saying 1 out of 10 in India alone is having a satisfaction level in India. 1 out of 10. 9 are disgruntled. That's his analysis. And why? That is why social tensions will increase. Our communication has shrunk, obviously because the way we spend also our time, but because of that, social tension will increase. When only 1 out of 10 is a happy or a reasonably satisfied person, 9 out of 10 are suffering from quality of life. So there is a crisis of soul. But winds of change are blowing. And you've seen them a lot on the television, and that's good news for us. Despite all odds, as I told you, winds of change, I think tsunamis are happening now as far as change is happening. And it is we the youth. which is causing it today. And that's where you come in many, and you are into many forms. Now remember, you are not the answer for everything. When I was doing my first slide on India, I looked at what is nation. Nation is its people. Nation is its resources, its history, its culture, its investment, its health, its education institutions, its character, its infrastructure, its the delivery systems, its leadership, its youth, its incomes, its expenditure, its wisdom, its heritage, its women, its children, its technology, its software, hardware, agriculture, voluntary sector, consumer. You fit in there. You're not all. You're there. You're one of them. Nation is built up. Nation is comprised of all these things. And see, when you play your role, you need to identify your role. Because you are a very vital part of the health of a nation. But if the same youth collapses in governance, the same youth doesn't show integrity in corporate world, the same youth shows sense of irresponsibility, the same youth also does not innovate, and the same youth is looking for safety nets. The same youth also becomes a violator of laws to some extent, or hoodwinker of laws. See the health of the nation. So don't say, मैं अकेला क्या कर सकता हूँ. मैंने बता दिया इंडिया बहुत कुछ है. उसमें आप ये कड़ी है. आप ये सब कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन सब कुछ और भी, बच्चे भी हैं, आपके माँ बाप भी हैं, आपकी टीचिंग फैकल्टी भी है, पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप भी, लेकिन आप भी हैं. इसलिए ये अपना रोल समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि आप उस भारत में कहाँ, where are you fitting in? And what is your role and what is your responsibility? You fulfill that and don't wait पहले आप फिर मैं, नहीं पहले मैं फिर आप भी, पहले मैं, ये नहीं पहले आप पहले मैं, जिम्मेवारी में मैं पहले, अधिकारों में तुम पहले, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी में मैं पहले, राइट में आप. I can tell you, the IITs itself can change this country. The IIMs and IITs get together, the law schools get together, India will be a different country. I guarantee. The IITs, the IIMs and the law schools come together to Ramlila ground, the government can change. You will set the agenda. You as educated youth will set the agenda, saying this is my country, this is my future. लेकिन उसमें मैं ये रोल प्ले कर रहा हूँ, आपका ये रोल है. So it's setting the agenda. I'm going to show you a slide where I'm asking you to set an agenda. We've got to go beyond the books. Do you have Gita classes here? Do you? You've got to have. You've got to have. And some management schools, I'm sure Dr. Ghosh knows it. IIMs have started to have it. So ethics is not just a feel-good faith. It is also a risk factor for companies. Today's companies, particularly overseas companies, are going to ask to make you do a lot of ethics tests. The fish knees of the world will get detected over a period. If you want an overseas job, your ethics has to be set %, otherwise you get caught one day or the other. So ethics to be in place has to begin now and not later. Because otherwise it will show, the slip will show at some stage or the other. So courses are now getting, what are the courses called? Courses called self-incorporated. Self-incorporated. It's all about personal and inner and social engineering. In fact, I tweeted saying I'm going to the IIT today to redefine engineering to personal engineering, social engineering, inner engineering. Or personal technology, social technology, or inner technology. You call it anything. Call it engineering, call it. If you don't have these regular courses on ethics and properly applied workshops in ethics, you will suffer later. But if you learn it now, the mistake will be minimized. But if you don't learn it now, you will learn only by mistake. So what do you want to do? Prevent a mistake or learn by mistake? Then you have to start your courses now. There are a lot of institutions which are doing. The Great Lakes is doing Karam Yoga. The IIM Lucknow is doing Krishna and Arjuna sculpturing at the campus. IIM Bangalore has started elective course on management paradigms from Bhagavad Gita. There are other areas. The ISB ethics is an important component. There are people who start courses. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Pick up from them and see how does it apply and make this as an integral part of your learning. That is one of the key reasons I'm here. That's why I thought I would not talk about policing. Policing is coming, but this is self-policing. If you take care of self-policing, a lot of policing overall in this country will improve because law abiding will increase. So, what am I saying? Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Therefore, create your right habits now, so that those are the habits before they become big chains, they remain light on you. You live your habits on a daily basis. Now, the biggest challenge you as youngsters are going to face in the coming years is transparency. It's going to be dramatically changed. The books, the regulatory systems, the notices, the manuals, everything is going to be on the websites now. So the more transparent, the more valuable that company will be, or you as a system. So transparency is a rule. Get into the habit of transparency now. Be inside out now. That's why ethics courses are very important, because corruption has bred in this country because of being opaque. Everything was opaque. It's only since 2005 that the right to information started to be in practice from 2007. It's dramatically changed the country. So RTI, if you think that only corruption and Lokpal is going to apply only to the public servant, you're mistaken. I'm going to show you where you also come. So here's a point to be read. The industry must come together to create a blueprint for best practice with a formal code of conduct and implement an accreditation program with a regulated audit process for guaranteed compliance. Greater regulation and compliance will assure the future of our industry. IITs can take a lead in doing this. IITs of this country can come together and offer these as codes of conduct as projects of the students. IIMs can come together to make these codes. It's time for you now to be engaged and say we want this in our industry. And that is how the old system will change. Otherwise, the old system, you will get sucked into the old system. If you want to get sucked in, don't do this. But you'll get caught. Somebody will get caught. Or you will all be on high, some of you will be on high blood pressure, because it causes its own stress. You can change the way the captains of industry also work by making this into a movement as students before you get employed. This should be a student movement of the IIT to be doing this. So how can India incorporate and make CSR game change? Now you can go into the CSR. 2% of incomes of the net profit has to be now corporate social responsibility under the Companies Act. Now if that it is, what is your company going to do with this 2%? If you're in a village, or in a mining company, or you are in a backward area of industry, what is it that you will do? Would you have deprivation around you while you are all lit? As it happens, the whole campus is lit, all the villages around are dark. Or will you make them stakeholders? Will you also lighten them up? Will you also incorporate their children into proper schooling? Will you also involve women and youth into upgradation of skills? Would you empower the locals? That's your CSR. This is what you must learn from now, and get sensitive and compassionate now before you think it's an imposition. And you start thinking, oh, it's a government welfare job, but they've given it to us. Well, they've given it to you because government couldn't do it. But the government does it for us. We are the people. And if as I tell you, 9 out of 10 remain deprived, how can that one person be happy? Is he going to live in an island? No. So CSR look at CSR not as a liability or as a pressure, but looked at as a performance and as an obligation and a service to humanity from haves to have-nots. So Indian middle class awakes, as I told you. It's shown in the, today's Indian middle class is almost the population of America. And this Indian middle class is young, it's educated, it's skilled to an extent, it's mobile, it's questioning, it's certainly on a mobile phone. It's also on the smartphone in the sense they're also accessing the internet. They're rural or urban, doesn't matter. But we have an Indian middle class population almost equivalent to America. So why can't this middle class be the leader? Rather than be a rebel, rather than be destructive, be constructive. Be the change agent. Compel results. Compel the change. I don't know how many of you kept track of the legislations of 2013. India has dramatically changed. That's why I want you to know. How many of you, I won't test you, but you know we owe a lot to Supreme Court this year, means 2013. We owe a lot to the Chief Information Commissioner. We owe a lot to the CAG. We owe a lot to the petitioners who went to these people, the RTI activists. And we owe a lot to the civil society and the media for driving the change in 2013. Some of the key legislations in India, besides the Lokpal bill which came at the end of the year, which was 18th of December last month, was decriminalization of politicians. When that is how Lalu Yadav was out of Lok Sabha. That is how another member of parliament was out of Rajya Sabha. They were now convicted. And once you're convicted, you cannot be a member of the Legislative Assembly or the Parliament anymore. And you cannot even fight elections. Otherwise, it was unbelievable. And you remember the same thing which Rahul Gandhi decided to tear up, that ordinance? It was the same ordinance which they were amending. They were trying to bring this as an ordinance so that Lalu Yadav stays in Parliament. But it did not succeed and instead went to jail. This thanks to Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court gave us none of the above as a right. You can post a none of the above. So none of the above, decriminalization. Then the Chief Information Commissioner gave us a law that all political parties are under now RTI. What has Standing Committee of the Parliament done? Changed it. But it is not law. The law still remains what the Chief Information Commissioner said. This is another very important, you must know it. So when you are in forums, you should know this is my right. I don't want the Parliament to now change it. I want the political parties to come under RTI so that they are transparent in their donations, in the budget, the way the AAP party did. Follow that model. Put everything, every donor on the website, and you should know how much money has come from where has it gone, whereas that's not happened. While the national parties claim, and of course we submitted audited statement. But there's one very big snap, that any donation now, this applies to you. When your companies make ever any time of a party donation, and they'll say cash देना, cash. क्यों cash? क्योंकि वो 20-20 हजार की पर्चियां बना के, कूपन बना के, उसका हिसाब ही नहीं रखेंगे. I read somewhere that Mayawati's first personal declaration was just 1 crore something, and later on became 111 crores. Where did the money come from? So friends, where is the money? Whose money? Whose money? So that's what it is corporate money. Who has the money? Major money is with when you generate business and wealth, you are generating money. But that money has to go for the infrastructure and not for somebody's personal wealth. So these are our challenges. These are very key verdicts. The CAG became, and CAG was an IS officer. The Chief Information Commissioner is also one of you. One of the person who gave this judgment was an IPS officer, my batchmate, who gave this judgment. Supreme Court is one of us who joined judiciary. It's we, it's not the politicians who drove the change. We drove the change. People from amongst us drove this change by giving us these key legislations. And then, a remarkable NGO called the ADR, Association for Democratic Reform, all volunteers. And they're all comprising of, some of them are retired professors from Ahmedabad. Yes, Doctor? They did it. And look at the kind of information they share with us, which makes an RTI, which makes a PIL possible. We did it. It's we the people. We are driving the change. But we have to drive the change, not they, the few. It's not they, the few. It's we the people. It's we the youth. And the youth which is educated, which is qualified, which is capable, which is alert, which is informed. So incorporated, ready for business under Lokpal watch. Yes, Lokpal, I do not know how many of you understand what is Lokpal. Key factors of Lokpal are, what was Supreme Court telling all along the government? That this is a caged parrot. Set the caged parrot free. Supreme Court was all along saying this is a caged parrot. Lokpal is setting the caged parrot free. How? When I say Lokpal is a good bill to begin with, well, what are the good points? There are areas for improvement, but what are the good points? The main good point is that Lokpal, a multi-member, 8-member body, 4 judges and 4 eminent citizens, educated, bright citizens, become a multi-member Lokpal. Selected by a selection committee, searched by a committee, then passed on to a selection committee headed by the Prime Minister, leader of the opposition, Speaker of the House, eminent jurist, and the Chief Justice of India. These 5 people select the 8-member body, names given by the search committee. I do believe we will have reasonably good people. I do believe. But once this 8-member body comes, if you have a complaint to give, you with evidence go and give a complaint to the Lokpal of corruption. What will the Lokpal do? This Lokpal can give the CBI the complaint for inquiry or investigation. Now this CBI, which is part of the government, for that complaint will not report to the government, will only report to the Lokpal. And it will have its own budget, it will have its own lawyers, no sanctions are required. If we had already had the Lokpal, what would have happened to other society report today? Somebody could have filed it before the Lokpal, and Lokpal could have taken cognizance. It needed no sanction. Today, Maharashtra governor has not given sanction to Ashok Chavan for Ashok Chavan's prosecution, whereas Lokpal will require no sanction. So it could do its own investigation. So Lokpal, the same caged parrot, is free. It was earlier going to, remember, Ashwani Kumar, law minister, had to resign. Do you remember? Why did he resign? Because he called a meeting of the CBI, the Attorney Generals and others in his office on a Corrugate matter which is under investigation by the and under the oversight of Supreme Court. And when Supreme Court came to know this, it passed severe indictment and Mr. Ashwani Kumar had to resign. With the Lokpal, this can never happen because the CBI will have its own team of lawyers. I know there are 2 differences of opinions. There is a group which said it's a Jokpal. When we said no, it's a Lokpal, they said it's a Jokpal. Why did they say it's a Jokpal? Because they read the old version of the law. They did not read the amendments which have been brought out by the standing committee. So things have changed. But if even the features I've told you, which are written in the law, where do you come in? Wherever you are a giver or a taker, or a contributor or a conspirer, you too can be brought into Lokpal. So that means you will have to tell your bosses in your companies, sorry sir, we also come under Lokpal. So if they don't know the Lokpal, by the way, I read it somewhere in the paper, the corporate world is now addressing how do we create anti-corruption mechanisms within the company so that we can take care of certain processes, which is, I think, a very good step forward. And you need to know this. You need to understand it when you go and join the company, saying, do they have anti-corruption mechanisms and anti-bribery techniques? Because this is, you see, what happened between Bharti and Walmart because of the Foreign Corruption Act, Bribery Corruption Act from the states. They are very strict and it just didn't work. You just cannot drive around here. So things have changed dramatically for your generation. So friends, don't get into business to get rich. Do it to enrich people. It will come back to you. Believe me. This is what I brought for you. I thought I must share this with you. I do not know if it's been worth it, but I thought it's like an alert call for you. And if we people don't come and tell you what's going on, then we are equally responsible. So let me not do something which is easy for me, or which is, no, what is good for you is important rather than what's right for me. So I've come here for you, not for myself. I hope it's made good sense. I do hope you carry back and take back some of these issues and then build on them. I can't say it all. I've not said it all. I don't have the capacity, the qualities of saying it all, but you have the inner engineering and inner technology to take it on and take it forward and see that each one of you becomes the change maker. And remember, out of their entire India, you are a very vital part of India. And in that, your technology, your health, your wealth, your mindset, your values contribute to the rest. So you are 1 is 9. Each one of you is 9. 1 is to 9. Each one of you may have to take care of not 1 but 100. You've got to be responsible as you grow up. That's why don't go into business to get rich. Do it to enrich people. It will come back. Thank you very much.
Valuable time with us and enlightening us with your wisdom. And now please be seated. We'll have an interactive session with the madam. So can I please raise your hands, whoever have the doubts or want to ask anything.
I would say thank you for your I love your voice, the way you speak. I love your tenacity, and also I love your dedication to society. I would say that I am a migratory. I migrated to the United States in 2005. I studied there 8 years. I got faculty position, professorship at University of California, Davis, which is a good institute. My point is that maybe the migration, or I think it's not a bad idea. Many people go from here to United States, Australia, UK, and they talk all the time about India, how India can be in a better place. So I think that right now, the world is already changing in one direction. Nobody can change it, neither you, me, nor society. But we have to, I think we have to encourage students to learn where the change is going on, not only in India, but all over the world. So this society, or India, can be equipped that how the world is changing. We can learn from it and we can make India in a better place, as a better place. So I think we should encourage students to go abroad to learn what is going on all over the world and contribute to India. So I think that one thing I want to say that migration is, I don't think migration is a bad idea.
No, yeah. I don't think that I said anything against it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I didn't say anything against it. I'm for your own right choices. I'm for independent of ethical choices and with a sense of responsibility. These are your choices. And everything has a good side to it. When you send back the billions, that's where we buy the oil. So I have nothing against it, except that go and send money home. Sending money home. If you don't, then please do. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. Do you know India has about more than 21 million non-resident Indians? More than 21 million residents around the world. You just have to save $1 a month. $1 a month. You can have $21 million a month. And focus them into some area of development in any country, any state which is backward. And for me, one state which needs non-resident Indian, a lot of investment, is guess which state needs maximum attention right now?
Jharkhand.
To my mind, it was Uttar Pradesh. UP, followed by Bihar. You see, in the Bimaru, only these two are left. Baki have done better. Madhya Pradesh is okay. Rajasthan is getting better. Odisha is getting better. Uttarakhand is moved on. But two states, Bihar is moving, but UP is almost standstill. So if we really imagine 21 million nahi to 10 million is sahi. Agar $10 million are spent every month on education, healthcare, women development, skills development in Uttar Pradesh, in 5 years Uttar Pradesh will be a developed state. And if UP would be on its own, it would have been probably the 7th largest country in the world in size after Canada, Australia, Brazil, Indonesia and India. Indonesia would have been, UP would have been a state country 7th largest population and size. So where we really need to work is Uttar Pradesh. Work in Uttar Pradesh. Work on skills development. Empower the youth. Because education alone will open up their minds and take them away from caste and faith. They will rise above being a Hindu or a Muslim and they will rise above a caste, whichever caste they are. Only then will they become you and me. मेरे से पूछो मेरी caste क्या तो मुझे नहीं पता. मेरा धर्म क्या है? मानवता. ये education अलग करती है. Education मानवता की तरफ ले जाती है. Education आपको इंसानियत की तरफ लगाती है और caste creed पे छोड़ देती है. So it is that. So non-resident Indians can come together, unite and focus on one state. And why I said UP? Because UP will always be in power. UP sends the highest number of elected members of the parliament to the persons to the parliament. That means wherever UP, whatever UP wins or loses, India loses or wins. So that's what it is about non-resident Indians. Any other question? Yes. Your question, please. What's your question?
Ma'am, you were into administration like for years, and you also said simultaneously you did your law course in that. So I would want to ask you that once you get your law degree, did it anyway enhance your skills as an administrator? Is it interrelated law and administration?
Totally. And as a police officer, 100%. But when you study further, it expands your thinking, it expands your understanding. You start connecting a lot of dots. Like PhD, you get into a research habit, it's getting organized into writing, right? So you get into better time management. So you never know what solutions you need at the administrative level. Therefore, continuing education in any field of your profession is always making you better and stronger.
Ma'am, I'm a big follower of you as well as Arvind Kejriwal. So my question is, why do you think standing out of the politics will help or to fight out the corruption more effectively?
Both are equally effective. If we hadn't done what we did from October till last July, the ark was not founded. If you see, the movement preceded the political formation, right? But if you had taken away the movement, political formation would not have happened so suddenly. That's the foundation, second. But some of us did not go into the political formation, some did. That goes into your ridiculous. Some are academics, some are activists, some are field politicians. I think then you have to choose by your nature. What's your nature? So some are very good for movement and mobilization, but everybody is not everybody. So therefore, making right choices is very vital, but both are needed. In fact, you've got a formula now how to become a chief minister within 1 year. Gandhi, get a cause, right cause, get a Mahatma Gandhi, mean like Anna Hazare. But उसके बाद एक और भी नहीं है इस वक्त. So formula is get the right cause which affects everybody. At that time, corruption today is affecting everybody. It does not distinguish between state, language, creed. It affects everybody because it's hurting everybody's pocket. It's united. So the movement, the cause united. Then you bring in a pure soul, a believing soul who's willing to sacrifice. So you bring a man like Anna Hazare, make him sit on a fast. Genuinely, without knowing कि chief minister बनना एक साथ था, वो नहीं. So go genuinely, keep fighting at it, छोड़ो नहीं. लगे रहो. एक दिन दो चीजें बन जाओ, एक मूवमेंट हो जाए, एक पॉलिटिकल हो जाए. हो सकता है. So there is a total mantra for it now. But we did not know when we started it that this is moving towards it. But I think it's moved in its own way. But youth to be engaged is very vital. That's why I'm encouraging you to stay up to date in current affairs.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am?
She has a little girl ask a question. Yeah.
My English is not perfect.
Come here, I'll make it perfect.
मुझे क्या करना चाहिए आपकी रिश्ते करने के लिए?
This is exactly what happened to me when I was 9. I was playing tennis that time and I came across the Wimbledon champion who was playing in Amritsar and I was 9-year-old playing tennis. And I also went to that Wimbledon champion and said, what can I do to be like you? Who's your mother? Where's your mom, dad? This child will be, let her be. Let her do what she's very good at. Parents, mothers produce. Parents produce, teachers produce. Two people produce. They produce the best of the boys and the girls, best of the youth. It's parents. First, all the time, and then the teachers. Along. Their teachers reinforce. Parents give birth and nurture. Parents nurture, teachers reinforce. So you continue to nurture, and she has a great school. They'll continue to reinforce. She will be what she wants to be. Right? Thank you. Any other? Yeah.
I have come to know that you had implemented Vipassana meditation in Tihar jail. Does it still continue to do so? And because I also do Vipassana, so is it being implemented in other jails also? And like what's the status now?
It continues in Tihar jail and it has spread to other prisons also. That's a fact. And it's a government policy, so it depends. But many states are following. Many prisons are following. You are a meditator?
Okay, one last question.
Excuse me. आपने कहा
आपको माइक ले लो. जोर से बोलो. बोल के दिखाओ.
मैम आप ये कह रहे थे कि एजुकेशन हमें सिखाती है मानवता का धर्म. कोई कास्ट नहीं होती, कोई क्रीड नहीं होती। लेकिन मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि जब हम कॉलेज में आए तब हमें पता पड़ा कि हम एक ऐसी कास्ट है जनरल जिनका कोई प्रिविलेज नहीं है, जिनके पास कोई रिजर्वेशन नहीं है। आई वांट कि ये सिस्टम चेंज होना चाहिए। 66 ईयर से यही चलता आया है। कास्ट में जो लोग हैं उन्हें पब्लिक सेक्टर में रिजर्वेशन मिलते हैं, इन जॉब्स, इन एजुकेशन। इसको कैसे चेंज कर सकते हैं? आई वांट कि इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस से रिजर्वेशन देना चाहिए बजाय की कास्ट।
इंडिया के बैक से शुरू किया था। ये पार्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री है, ये पार्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री है, और कुछ देर हिस्ट्री चलती है साथ, और थोड़ी देर के बाद बदलती भी है। ये पार्ट ऑफ हिस्ट्री है जिसको आप नहीं लिख सकते, मिटा नहीं सकते, उसको बर्दाश्त करना पड़ेगा।
बदल तो सकते हैं मैम।
हाँ, समय से बदलेगा, और बदलेगा समय से, आप देखोगे बदलेगा। अगले जन्म तक। Once again, a very happy new year to you. I hope you carry back something or the other. I do hope there are some policy amendments which could come from learning institutions, like as I told you, ethics classes, etc. I hope it makes sense, and I wish you all the very best, and thank you once again.